Energy for entertainment. It doesn't seem like very much. But the other night on PBS, they had a program on how much energy we use for entertainment. Once, let's say before Edison's White City, nobody knew what a light bulb was. Nobody knew what lighting was. You had street lamps of oil, whale oil burning in street lamps, or you had torches. But when people went to the White City, which was about, they said 25 million people visited the White City. And one of the reasons they visited the White City to look at the electric bulbs. Because newspapers ran White City is Light City. Nobody really knew what lighting was until they saw that. Everybody wanted that light on their street because women could walk around at night if there's lights on the street. Many towns had, when the sun went down, the women went inside. Shopping almost ceased to exist. You close the doors at sunset. At White City, it showed you could read a newspaper. And engineers from cities were kind of like said, let's go get a steam engine and Edison's light bulbs, because everything was running in DC, so you had just limited it. Stores were open at night. They had street lamps. Now that was a big difference. They may have horse and buggy, but they have street lamps. What's horse and buggy? Mud. When it rains, the street becomes muddy. You have sidewalks, right? When you brought out the automobile, that was something else. But literally speaking, is that when Astrodome, was in Texas, turns on, they also need a extra power to keep the lights on, because Astrodome has features. You put 70,000 people in a enclosed area and they're all equal to a 125 watt bulb, you need to keep the air conditioning at 70 degrees. That's a lot of power to do that thing. And they said it's like having 10,000 homes or 50,000 homes turning on their lights. And entertainment at night, indoor or outdoor lighting at night for baseball. And as soon as they did that, the power thing went up. Back in 1995, when the Microsoft computer came out, Microsoft Windows 95, people would go out and buy because it was easy to use, right? You didn't have the right code to do it. All across Chicago, power transformers were blowing. Why? Too much power being sucked out from them. You say something like, say, indoor, outdoor night sports, you're lighting up the area. And they said one of the things is that during commercial time, refrigerator doors are open, or somebody go gets popcorn. They're looking at spice. They watch sports, not the thing. They're looking at commercials, the end of a sports game, that thing, and how that thing, because homeowners decide to open up refrigerators. They decided to cook food. and there's a spike of that thing. So they add more power, electric power to the grid, and that thing. When when something like the Astro starts turning on their stuff, they tell the electric company they're going to start taking power, and when people start moving in, the electric usage goes up, air conditioning goes up. They keep that at 70 degrees, 75 degrees, 70 degrees temperature, and it has to be all through the building. And they take out, well, what's going to do that? Either a nuclear power plant or a coal burning plant. How many sports affairs are going on in Chicago? How many are capable of going on? You got 2 ballparks, and you got the football stadium, Soldiers Field. And if they're on, and right, when you have an enclosed area, you have to keep the temperature of that thing, and that means you have to use a lot of air conditioning, a lot of air being blown around, keep that human heat blowing around. And you use up a lot of electricity. Well, yeah, you're going to have a new. Well, you are limited to what you have now. What do you mean you're limited to what you have now? You're not building any more coal burning plants, gas burning plants, oil burning plants, or nuclear power plants. Okay? And one of the things is they want to do is marginal mobile nuclear power plants. Picked up in a 40-foot cargo container. You have your small nuclear power plant in there. They can give out megawatts. And you bring it to something like O'Hare Field in Chicago. And you stick one of those in there. Or next to something, ballparks in Chicago, you just basically drop one of these in there because nobody's going to open it up. Okay? They're basically sealed units. You tie into that and away you go. I worked at Kraft Foods, main corporate building. They had their own generating power. Standby. Big units for standby because mainframes, they had to keep their mainframes. If the power went off, those things went on. They had to keep their mainframes going, and many buildings did have those extra dynamos outside to, if power goes off, those things pop out. Homing units, you have the generic units, propane units. When the power goes off, they go on. You want to see more homes with solar cells. Oh, well, solar cells and LEDs. Yeah, so yes, that's the amount of energy uses in this country, in the United States, and in many countries who happen to have stadiums that are enclosed. You're going to add air conditioning in them, and that's going to draw a lot of power. Hey, we're going to go solar and wind. Maybe you're going to go solar and wind. But you're also going to use coal and nuclear.